Abeg, stop telling me this thing. Ronke yelled at her roommate Angel, who had made it her sole mission to invite her to church. Ronke, just this once, she pleaded with her eyes. If you don't like it after your experience, she said, I won't bring it up again. Fine, Ronke relented. When is this service, Seth? This made Angel smile like she had just won a chocolate bar. It's on Wednesday, so 2 days from now. Promise me you won't change your mind, Angel said. Ronke couldn't help but smile. Angel childishness was what made them friends. She reminded Ronke so much of her little sister who had died 5 years ago. Wednesday came by like a flash, and Ronke went with Angel to the awaited service. She couldn't hide at all at how engaging the activities were. This was her first time in 5 years at a church, and she loved it. After the service, she was leaving with Angel when a handsome light-skinned guy stopped them and asked, Angel, who is this? Brother Fei, meet Ronke, my roommate, Angel introduced. Ronke, this is Brother Fei. He is the Christian Association president. He flashed a cheeky smile at Ronke and took her hand in his to shake. Her knees almost gave way. She couldn't stop her heart from making backflips. He was totally her type, she thought. Every day, Ronke would ask Angel if there was going to be a church service, always eager to go. One Sunday morning, Ronke got to church earlier than the congregation. She wanted to use every opportunity to watch Femi. Angel was a chorister in the church and needed to be there on time for extra practice. So Ronke sat waiting. She couldn't help but look towards the door each time she heard someone walking. That day, she kept her eyes fixed on any guy whose back resembled Femi's. But he didn't come. Disappointed and worried about him, Ronke went to ask anyone she had ever seen with him. But no one seemed to know why Femi was absent. Finally, a beautiful light-skinned girl, whom Ronke remembered as a chorister, walked up to her. She explained she had heard Ronke was looking for Femi and disclosed he was sick. They lived in the same student's lodge, and she was among the neighbors who took him to the hospital days before. What hospital? Ronke asked, her mouth quivering. He is no longer in the hospital, the chorister girl said. He has been discharged and is home. Ronke took the address and left, not waiting to tell Angel her plans. As she got to Femi's room, without knocking, she put the door handle and realized it was already open. Ronke went in and started to search for Femi's room. She found him in bed, looking a mess. What are you doing here? Femi asked as he sat up. I am so sorry, Ronke replied. Your door was open and I heard you were sick. Have you taken your drugs? She asked. No, Femi replied as he coughed. I haven't had anything to eat yet. Alarmed, Ronke went to Femi's kitchen and made him a quick meal. Femi fell asleep not long after taking his drugs, and Ronke left. A couple of days went by, and Ronke never failed to go see Femi and feed him as well. Lover girl, Angel teased. Hope Brother Femi knows you like him, she laughed. Stop it, Joe, I'm just helping my neighbor as the Bible instructs. Just then, they heard a knock on the door. Angel went to open it, and behold, it was a healthy-looking Femi. Angel quickly excused herself and made up a story and left the pair alone. Thank you so much for everything, Femi said, taking Ronke's hands into his. It's nothing, Ronke said, blushing and hiding her face in her hands. Why are you so nice to me? Femi asked as he drew closer to her. I don't know, Ronke blurted as she looked away from him. Intrigued by her answer, Femi took her face into his hands and kissed her cheek. Thank you. Over the next few weeks, Femi and Ronke spent more time together. After church services, they would often hang out, sharing deep conversations about their lives and dreams. One evening, after a lively youth fellowship, Femi walked Ronke back to her dorm. I really enjoyed today's fellowship, Ronke said, smiling up at Femi. Me too, Femi replied, his eyes twinkling. You know, I feel like I can talk to you about anything. Same here, Ronke said softly. I've never felt this close to anyone before. They reached the front of her dorm and there was a brief charged silence. Femi looked at her intensely, then leaned in and kissed her on the cheek. Ronke's heart raised as she watched him walk away, a smile playing on his lips. Their relationship deepened, filled with sweet romantic moments that left Ronke's heart fluttering. One Saturday, Femi invited her to a picnic by the lake. They sat under a large oak tree, sharing stories and laughter. Femi reached out and gently tucked a stray strand of hair behind Ronke's ear, sending shivers down her spine. I've never felt this happy, Ronke confessed, looking into Femi's eyes. Me neither, Femi said, his voice sincere. You're special to me, Ronnie. They spent hours there enjoying each other's company until the sun began to set. As they walked back hand in hand, Ronke felt a sense of contentment she hadn't felt in years. Despite the growing bond between them, Ronke started noticing subtle changes in Femi's behavior. He became more distant, often cancelling their plans or showing up late. One evening, after a particularly frustrating day, Ronke decided to confront him. Femi, what's going on? She asked, her voice trembling. You've been so distant lately, Femi sighed, running a hand through his hair. I'm sorry, Ronnie. Things have been just too complicated. Complicated how? Ronke pressed, trying to keep her voice steady. It's hard to explain, Femi said, avoiding her gaze. Ronke felt a pang of hurt and confusion. She didn't understand what was happening, but decided to give Femi space, hoping things would get better. Weeks turned into months and Ronke became quite involved in church. This helped improve the bond between herself and Angel, a friend. She also became friends with Femi sort of. Ronke soon realized this parent home wasn't far from hers. The ASU strike that had been threatening finally commenced. Femi started coming over often and became friends with her elder brother Adekoya. Ronke liked this idea a lot because she had a crush on him. The strike extended into 5 months, making Femi a permanent occupant at her house. He was always sleeping over. Ronke always found excuses to hang out with Femi and Adekoya. She asked her brother about Femi's frequent visits, and he explained that Femi had an unstable house. His parents were not Christians, always arguing and making things difficult for Femi, who was an only child. Their home was an escape for him. Ronke didn't mind, since she got a glimpse of him from time to time. However, she soon realized Femi had no interest in her. He was always in her brother's room whenever he came over. They barely spoke unless her brother was involved. One day, Ronke expressed her concerns to Angel over a phone call. Abi, Brother Femi is gay. This one he isn't even interested in talking to you. I always thought he was strange, she said. Abba, Angel, he isn't. I just don't understand anymore. I thought we had something, you know. This was supposed to be a great opportunity to make something more of what we have. He literally got access to my home, family and brother through me. You should address it with him then, Angel advised. That way, you will know you tried. After some time, Ronke decided she could no longer take it and would take Angel's advice. She dressed in a cute outfit and went to her brother's room. She saw Adekoya leave earlier, so she was sure Femi was alone. As she opened her brother's door, she could hear voices but couldn't decipher the words. She put the door and walked into the room with a smile, but that smile quickly faded as she walked in further. She saw Brother Femi and her brother Adekoya in a full-blown make-out session. Her heart fell. As soon as her brother saw her, he pulled away from Femi like a contagious disease. But it was already too late. Ronke had seen enough. What is happening here? She asked, half screaming, half whispering. Her brother Adekoya looked at her with sad eyes and started to say the all-too-common line, "It is not what you think." As Ronke moved her eyes to look at Femi, he didn't look bothered a bit as he placed his hands in his pockets, avoiding her gaze. Ronke felt her world crumble. She left the room without another word. Her heart shattered. For days, she locked herself in her room, crying and wondering how she missed the signs. Angel tried to comfort her, but Ronke was inconsolable. Eventually, she realized she needed to confront her brother and Femi. She needed closure. One evening, she gathered the courage to talk to Adekoya, her brother. "I can't believe you never told me," she said, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Ronnie," Adekoya replied, his voice trembling. "I never meant to hurt you." "Why Femi?" she asked, her voice breaking. "It just happened. We didn't plan for it," he said. Ronke turned to Femi, who stood silently. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked him. "I didn't know how," Femi said quietly. "I never meant to deceive you." Ronke felt a surge of emotions, betrayal, hurt, and a longing for understanding. She realized she needed to find peace and move forward. In the weeks that followed, Ronke slowly started to heal. She threw herself into her studies and church activities, seeking solace in her faith. She began to see a counselor who helped her navigate feelings of betrayal and loss. Angel remained a steadfast friend, offering support and encouragement. One Sunday, during a particularly moving sermon, the pastor read from 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres." These words resonated deeply with Ronke. She realized that love, true love, involved forgiveness and understanding. She decided to forgive her brother and Femi, knowing that holding on to anger would only hurt her more. She approached Adekoya and Femi, extending an olive branch. "I forgive you both," she said. "I need to move on, and I hope we can find happiness together." Her brother hugged her tightly. "Thank you, Ronnie." And that concludes the story, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Tell me in the comments what you would have done in Ronnie's situation. I can't wait to hear your interesting feedbacks. And if you have gotten to this point and you've not subscribed, please click the subscribe button. Share my video with your friends, family, foes, and anybody you think would enjoy this kind of story. And as always, see you in my next video, besties. Bye!